All right, y'all, Texas Garden Guy here, and we are at my buddy Jorge's nursery, Jorge's Hidden Gardens.
How's it going, guys?
We've been doing a lot of talk about these raised rolling garden beds, and I've done a bunch of videos on putting citrus in them, but what I haven't thought about is doing avocados, and my buddy Jorge here is pretty knowledgeable about avocados. You want to tell him a little bit about this avocado?
What we got here, it's a Joy avocado. This is a cold hardy avocado. It can even handle 18 degrees. It's gonna be a smooth skin, very buttery avocado. So if you love guacamole, this variety is the way to go. One of the things that you have to be careful when you get avocados this young, you have to protect them from the sun and also protect them from the winter. The rolling bed becomes really handy. That way you don't have to be lifting that heavy pot, you can just roll it.
And even though these are cold tolerant, being able to move it indoors is going to be beneficial because it can take down to like 18 degrees, but it's going to take some damage.
Exactly. The new growth, it's not going to handle the 18 degrees. So that's why we prefer to bring it indoors in the winter. And also it can dehydrate in the high temperatures of our area.
So even during the summer, having a rolling bed is going to be helpful, because you'll be able to move it into some shade. That's a problem. You'll get like the sunburn on the leaves.
Exactly.
Because of too much heat, too much humidity. You can move it to a drier spot, a cooler spot when we get in the middle of summer.
Yeah, no, this rolling bed is going to be perfect for this avocado tree.
Absolutely. Well, let's get it put together.
Woohoo! I even like this color, dude.
That pearl white, man, is my favorite.
It is really nice.
It just makes like the green pop, I think, you know?
Yes, I mean, it matches with everything in my garden.
Absolutely. So while Jorge's getting the film off the panels, I want to show off these wicking cells. So this is actually going to be the bottom of the rolling container. And what's really cool about this is that when you're watering your plants, a lot of times all the water comes out the bottom. And what this does is actually traps quite a bit of that water and allows the roots to go through the bottom of this little sheet. And that way, you don't have to water as often. It's going to collect water and the roots will be able to get the water as they need it.
That's perfect, man, especially from some dry areas like California, Arizona. I think that will work perfect.
Absolutely. I mean, and then, you know, you go out of town, go on vacation, and you don't have time to water. You can just water it really well, be gone for a week, and you're good, especially in the middle of summer.
Not to mention the root system on the avocado trees. They don't like to stay wet feet. Although if they will want water, they will send those roots for water.
And I think a lot of people get confused about trees, thinking that everything has to go on the ground. A lot of stuff like citrus, avocados, can stay in larger containers for a long time.
Oh, yes, definitely. Especially if you don't have a lot of space, that container will contain the roots and will not allow it to grow crazy.
Right.
So basically the container will contain the roots and it will contain the growth of the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. I've grown a lot of stuff in containers for years and had really good success. And I know people who've kept like citrus in containers like their whole lives, you know.
Exactly. I was watching a video on one of the groups that I follow on Facebook, and this lady had this beautiful cara orange tree that it was 20 years and it was on a 30-gallon container.
Really? I
mean, the tree was like 7 feet tall, very nice canopy, but the canopy probably was like 3 foot wide. So about 3 foot wide, maybe 5 foot.
That's crazy.
And one of the comments that she did is that she even collect like 50 oranges this year alone.
That's nuts.
That's pretty good, man. So if you're looking to grow citruses, avocados in containers, that's a really good way to go.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and pretty much everything will do good in containers. There's like stuff like oaks, pecans probably wouldn't do good in containers.
No,
because a lot of things, some things with like long tap roots wouldn't like it.
You know what's another good tree that you can grow in containers? Olive trees.
Yes, I've even seen them used as indoor plants.
Oh yes, actually, the longest they can get some sunlight, not required to have like direct sun, you know. So you can even have it like closer to a window. You can have like a bay window or even a skylight.
Yeah, This is probably messing up the sound so bad.
I know,
All right,
man.
we're gonna get the plastic off and start getting it assembled, and we'll come back.
Satisfying.
All right, so we got the hardware kits out. We got the rolling casters. These are super easy to put together. I've done a bunch of these already, but if you don't know how to do this, if you don't know how to put your Vego bed together, it's got a little QR code right here, and it'll show you an assembly. But Jorge, do we read the instructions?
No, never.
It's
Unless we can figure it out. That's when we come back and read the instructions.
typically I go get the instructions after I like, okay, what does this go to? I can't figure it out, but I've done a bunch of these, so I think we'll be all right. All right, so we got the container built. I didn't tighten these all the way. I went ahead and left them kind of loose because we're going to fit it over the wheelbase. And if you look down, you want to have those holes lining up right. You'll tell there's like a little clasp right here that wants to fit in. And if you look on the inside, come on the inside real quick, there's a little spot, and the bolt has to fit through all of that. So we're going to come through the front, spin a Rooney a little bit.
Make sure it's aligned.
And then come to the back, and it's all the way through. And we'll tighten that one up. Just hand tight for now. We're gonna go around and do the rest of them. It's really important to get everything squared up, hand tight, before you go snugging everything up. All right, so we got some edging here. It's not sharp on the corners or anything, but where they meet, you can kind of maybe get snagged, like on your shirt. That's also why at the top, you see on the top, I use the cap screws. And then about on the third level, we would go to the regular nuts. That way when you're putting your hand in, you don't get like scratched up and stuff. And it's pretty smooth.
Very convenient, guys.
And we'll go ahead and put this edge molding on just to give you like an extra layer of protection when you're playing with this thing.
Yeah, guys. It's kind of, the weather is a little chilly.
Yeah.
Although if you want to let this set on the sun for a few minutes.
Yes, it gets way easier to use.
Yes.
Especially that and irrigation line.
Yeah.
That spaghetti line, you throw it out in the sun for about an hour and it's like,
oh yeah, man. When you try to lay that poly pipe in the winter.
Oh, it's a nightmare. What's cool though is that poly pipe, the irrigation line, it expands so it doesn't, like, you don't have to worry about it freezing and stuff.
Exactly.
PVC, you gotta worry about it. But
one thing though that it's whenever we're installing it, if we're installing it in the winter, we have to leave it kind of long because it shrinks in the heat.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's pretty easy to put on. The cool thing about Vego is they always give you more than enough screws than what you need, and they always give you extra footage of this in case you mess up.
Exactly.
So, I always hate when I get packages, I put it together, and there's like one screw missing or one, like that is the worst thing ever.
There you go, guys. So once you get to the point right here, so I'm gonna be using these wire clippers. And just like that, guys, we are ready to go.
Oh, we got one more thing to add though. This is the bladder. This is the tank. So we'll go ahead and put that down. Hold on a second. Go ahead and put it all the way down to the bottom. All right, so we got the bottom plate in. We're gonna throw the rack in. You just wanna make sure you get the liner below those bolts so it holds it in nice and tight. We'll stick the top on. Good to go. So the excess water will collect when you're watering. And down here in this tank, and the roots will be able to go through these holes. And if you're out of town, it's a drought, your plant will be able to get more water if it wants it, you know? So really good option for people who travel, people who don't want to water every day like me and Jorge. So really cool option. Let's get some soil in here and let's get this tree planted.
All right.
All right, so this is some of Jorge's mix that he's got here. We can actually go. We can lock the wheels. We can lock them.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fill this up. We'll probably fill this up about what, a third of the way, Jorge?
Yeah, let's see. So since we're gonna be using a 7-gallon container, we wanna be sure that we don't want to plant it too deep. So we check them up. It's still kind of low, so let's continue to fill them.
Jorge plants. How many trees do you think you plant a day on average? Probably a dozen trees a day.
Yes, some days are better than others.
Well, is it a good day when you're planting a tree? I think it's a good day.
Of course, man. Yeah, one a day, it's great, and I can do more than that. It's even better.
What's in your soil so people can look at?
This is a compost mix. I mean, it's a mix of compost and pine bark mulch.
Right. So tell us what you're doing right now. That's a really good method.
So since already, I'm using the bucket size to kind of measure it out. I don't want to plant it too deep. Since this is new dirt, you want to be sure to pack it down really well. Otherwise, it's gonna sink. So once you pack it down really well, you measure again. Looks like it's even. So it's gonna be time to plant your tree.
Perfect. We got beautiful avocado here. This is that Joey avocado.
Yes.
You sell a lot of Joeys, huh?
Oh yeah, man. It's one of my top sellers right here. So when you're transplanting an avocado tree, you want to be very careful. You don't want to mess up the roots too much. It's getting a little hard, so I'm going to be using the help of my little knife.
Sometimes that's just the best method.
And I'm just going to cut the tops off. I don't want to disturb the roots too much. So just enough to let it out easier. Woohoo. Don't try this at home. I just kidding. Okie dokie. So now let's try it again. You want to flip it? Come on. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see how pretty are the roots. I'm not going to disturb it because it's not root bound.
Yeah, people always ask me, like, should you completely tussle the root system whenever you transplant? And I always say there's a difference between like a complete transplant and this is more like a slip transplant.
Yeah, no, like this one I only shake the top a little bit. That's the only thing I do, but I usually don't mess with the roots too much.
Right. And people always think that if you don't completely mess with the roots, they'll continue to grow in a circle. And I have not found that to be the case at all.
No, sir, not at all. Because even these roots, if you want to do a close-up right here,
yeah,
this root, it's not like it's just going to continue going on. This is going to grow new roots that are going to go this way.
Right. Beautiful. It's a beautiful tree.
Yes. I like to use some of the old buckets that I have laying around because it's just easier for me to scoop it.
Right. Or the tractor when it's easier, right?
There you go. Okie dokie, guys. So we want to be sure to pack the ground really well. As you can see here, you still see the root ball, the top of the root ball. So we do not want to bury it. We just want it to be sure to be flush, or even if you go like an inch, it won't hurt the tree. We just don't want to go above the trunk too much.
All right, we got the tree planted, and now we need to water it in. The coolest thing about the rolling bed is we don't have to bring the water hose to us. We're taking the bed
to the water. There you go. It's time to water, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to sit over here in the sun. It's going to get a nice little bit of morning sun still. Looks amazing. And what's pretty cool is you would think these would be super heavy. I've actually picked them up. He'll have to actually pick it up or carry it over there to the greenhouse during the winter. But they're actually not that hard to pick up, honestly. And I think with the wheels, especially because you don't have like hard gravel, you might be able to roll it, man. You might be able to roll it into your greenhouse with the rest of your fruit trees. Y'all can see he's got quite a bit of other fruit trees over here in his greenhouse. So We're gonna get this guy watered in. We watered it in really well, and as you can see at the bottom, whenever the tank fills up, it'll actually overflow. So it's only gonna hold so much water so that your tree doesn't actually get root rot from all the water and everything like that. It's only gonna hold a certain amount. The rest, the overflow is gonna leak out. All right, so we got our avocado tree planted over here at Jorge's. If y'all wanna see this plant, come visit Jorge. He's over here in Alvin, Texas. He's really knowledgeable about a lot of fruit trees, avocados, landscaping design, all kinds of good stuff. And this tree's gonna be here for a long time, right?
Exactly, so we're gonna record the process.
Absolutely. We'll show y'all how quick this thing grows over the years, and it's gonna be a mainstay here at the Hidden Garden.
Yes, guys, so if you are in this area and you wanna swing by, come and check out this tree here at the nursery.
Absolutely, guys. See y'all in the next video.